Is Vista Mayor John Franklin. Good morning, Mayor.
Good
Good
morning,
to
Lauren.
see you. This is something that San Diego County Sheriff Kelly Martinez is asking the Board of Supervisors for, and this is something that could cost as much as $3 billion for widespread facility improvements and new construction. But a new jail in North County, which is the Vista Detention Facility alone, it could run about $950 million to $1.2 billion to build and redo.
And improvements to these facilities are long overdue. And I've been talking a lot about wasteful spending at the county level. This spending is long overdue and needed. And in fact, really for the last probably 20 years, we've failed in our responsibility, the County Board of Supervisors has, to adequately plan for facilities improvement. And so now we have jail facilities that are not meeting the needs of our community, and we have huge problems, not only the slate of jail deaths. We've had 250 people die in our jails in the last 20 years. We've paid $30 million in wrongful death suits in the last 2 years alone. So the cost of these wrongful death suits is mounting. And of course, we all want to see a detention center that is humane and meets the needs. And one of the problems we have is 50 years ago when these facilities were built, we didn't have huge numbers of people addicted to meth, heroin, and fentanyl. We do today. And these facilities literally were not built with the proper supervision setup. We need different architecture that allows people who are going through detox from these very powerful drugs to be medically supervised, and we have to be able to hold them. I'm hearing from judges of the Superior Court and from district attorneys every day in our county that low-level crimes, misdemeanors, are not being prosecuted when individuals fail to appear. It's called FTA. And when the judge issues a bench warrant for the person who's failed to appear in court for a misdemeanor arraignment, it could be breaking and entering or some other crime. It's a serious crime, punishable by years in jail, but it's not a violent crime. These crimes, when that bench warrant is issued, that individual will not be held in our county jails pending trial, no matter how many times they fail to appear in court. So complying with your criminal arraignment for a misdemeanor crime has become voluntary in our county, and that's completely unacceptable. So the county is in budget deficit, and we're going to have to figure out how to fix our county's budget deficit without raising taxes, because this is the big conversation at the Board of Supervisors right now. The board has actually spent $500,000 of your county tax money to study 3 separate tax increase proposals. We don't need to increase taxes. We've grown the county's budget payroll by 13%, new staffing positions, in the last 5 years. The same time period, our population in the county declined. So we've hired more people to serve fewer residents. We need people that are proper budget, they're budget hawks.
Yeah.
You know, in Vista, we had budget deficit for 7 years in a row before I was elected. For the 11 years that I've been mayor and on the council, we've always had a balanced budget. Never had a deficit. We had surplus of $10 million this year in the city of Vista. Proper fiscal management means you can replace your capital infrastructure assets on a regular timeline because you plan for these things to happen. We built the jail 50 years ago. We knew that within 40 years we were going to need to build new facilities, but we haven't been making those plans. So it's about time that the Board of Supervisors really gets pen to paper and gets serious about how we fund our jail system, because it provides an absolutely vital service. We see the impacts of low-level crime in every part of our county. It is super important. As a mayor, on behalf of my other mayors in the county, there are 18 of us, we need our police officers, when they go into harm's way to arrest somebody, they need to be able to jail these criminals, and they need to be held in jail when they fail to appear in court. They need to be held and remanded into custody until such time as they can be arraigned and tried. People that skip out on bail or unrecognizance should not be allowed to walk free and commit more crimes.
Mayor, we're out of time, and this is such a hefty subject, that brings up so many issues. Monday morning quarterbacking of what should have, could have been done, and really that needs to be evaluated. But really quickly, what do you think the next step is in order to address this?
Right now, it's a budget issue. A lot of pencil sharpening is going to have to be done. We've hired 2,500 new employees at the county in the last 5 years. We really need to think about positions that were funded with one-time ARPA money, that's COVID relief money from the federal government. When that one-time money ran out, we didn't cut back on the new employees we'd hired with one-time money. I'm a candidate for the Board of Supervisors. Jim Desmond is term limited out. We need people that can budget, that can deliver surpluses, that can deliver new capital infrastructure projects, not people who put their head in the sand and act like things aren't going to happen that we all know are.
Right. Mayor, thank you so much for the time, and I'm sure we'll be revisiting this issue again. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with much more on Good Morning San Diego.